Breaking news. A NovaRed representative recently appeared in a major mining industry interview.
Companies like NovaRed Mining are advancing projects such as WOMAC, aiming to contribute to future supply. Well, we speak to former US Navy Commander Phil Eyre, now an advisor to NovaRed, about the strategic importance of these materials and whether North America is prepared. Commander Phil Eyre, thanks very much indeed for your time.
Hey, thank you very much. And for the last 10 years or even more than that, and accelerating, the importance of copper is more well understood. And the importance of getting out of the ground in a timely fashion, in a clean fashion, as best we can, is also part of making it happen. Great to be here.
Commander, you've written that modern defense systems, from drones to satellites, are heavily dependent on copper, right? When you look at the current demand from both defense and electrification, where do you see the biggest supply bottleneck emerging?
Defense and electrification, well, I don't, it's a combination of the chip manufacturing that drives AI and drives a lot of computing speed and complexity and just the power, but also what is that power rested on? It's rested on the ability to use electricity. And the ability to use electricity is copper. I mean, that's not too far of a stretch. That's just core fundamental building blocks of a capability. So strategic mineral is something that the United States has started to recognize formally in formal documents that drives, the foundation of the importance of copper.
Industry leaders continue discussing copper, supply risks, and future demand. Let's take a closer look.
Mine today is Frank Giustra, mining financier, macro investor, and one of the sector's most closely watched voices on gold, copper, and the changing global order. Frank Giustra, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Hey, my pleasure.
Frank, over the last week alone, we've seen gold whipsaw on oil, Iran tensions, and shifting Fed expectations, while copper keeps behaving almost like an AI stock. Are markets starting to price in a much bigger structural change, you think, than investors fully appreciate?
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, listen, copper is the backbone to almost every electrification industry in the world. And we have a declared supply deficit coming to us very quickly. The numbers range all over the map, but, I think JP Morgan suggested that we could have a 2 million ton deficit by 2030 and about a 8 million ton deficit by 2035. That's a lot of copper that's projected not to be available for the demand that we're seeing ahead of us. And that's without even considering the data centers, which alone are projected to require about 500,000 tons of copper by 2030 just for the data centers. So we've got the supply deficit. The copper industry, or the copper mining industry, is like most mining, and this is especially true with copper because these large porphyry copper deposits are have a long lead time to put into production. 10 to 15, sometimes 20 years between finding them, developing them, and constructing and putting them into production. So this is only going to be solved two ways. The price of copper has to go up. And because as these deficits come upon us, you're going to require a higher copper price to incentivize the building of mines faster than we've been doing it in the past. And there's only, if you really look at the copper world out there, and keep in mind that most of these deposits are found by the junior mining industry, okay? It's the majors that develop them and put them in production, but it's the juniors that find them and develop them to a certain stage, usually just to pre-production, the pre-production area, and then obviously, if they're big enough, they're acquired by the majors. And if you look at the world today, and I'm involved in obviously in exploration and development of copper as well as gold, and there are only 4 near surface copper deposits that are over 1 billion tons, which is usually the threshold which a major will look at, and usually the most that you'll get out of, being able to model the value of a copper deposit. Anything over 1 billion tons, is you're taking it into the 30, 40, 50 years from now. So of those 4, there's only 4 that are of good grade, near surface, and over 1 billion tons that have not been taken over yet. Okay, I'm an investor in one of them. It's in Colombia. It's called Copper Giant, and there are a couple of others. There's Aldebaran in Argentina, there's Solaris in Ecuador, and there's McEwen Copper in Argentina as well. Those are the 4 that are over 1 billion tons and near surface and easier to mine. Yes, there are some other deposits that are much, much deeper, going to take a lot longer to develop and put into production. So you think about that, the fact that in order to address the supply deficit of copper, we're going to need to find 6 of these kind of mines every year till the year 2050. 6, and put them in production. It just, at these prices, we're not seeing that level of production to coming from these mining projects. So I think we're gonna have to see a much higher copper price.